Hi everybody, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
Welcome to the ARTyRV live stream tonight. We've got a Q&A, we've got some demos, and it looks like we have a nice crowd here tonight.
Sure does, Barb. Looks like we have a lot of new people in the chat tonight, so that's great to have everybody on board.
Yeah, those of you who have never tuned in before, Ed, you want to start and tell them a little bit about who we are and why we're here and what we do?
Well, hey, I'm Ed. And I'm a glass artist and have been working with stained glass for approximately 43 years. Barb and I have been into business together and had our own company for 37 years here in beautiful South Carolina. And we enjoy working together. We do a lot of large projects, and we also do public art.
That's right. And during the pandemic, we had to redo our business because we could no longer teach classes. And we had hundreds of students every year that would come through the studio and we taught classes. So we thought, how can we keep up the communication? How can we keep that community? And so we started the YouTube channel.
Actually, yeah, and it, of course, it blossomed into something far larger than we had ever even imagined, and that is because of you guys, and we want to thank you first. Thank you
guys.
Thank you guys for helping this thing blossom into something really fantastic. So we're about this far away from 16,000 subscribers. I think we only need like 28 more subscribers for 16,000. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and do so, because you know what? I'd really like to see 16,000 on that number by the end of the show. So we got till 8 o'clock. Tell your friends, call everybody, have them subscribe.
Okay, guys, let's go ahead and thank the Sunshine Glass Works.
That's right. Yeah, so we want to thank Scott and George and Barb and Sean up at Sunshine Glass Works, along with the rest of their team, for sponsoring tonight's show. Thank you guys very much. And don't forget, all of your tools, hand tools, and your glass needs, give Sunshine a call and see if they can't help you. Sunshine Glass in Buffalo, New York, and we appreciate your sponsorship.
That's right. We also want to say thank you to Ray. Ray's out there. Hey, Ray.
Hey, Ray. Everybody give Ray a thumbs up tonight. He works really hard. Y'all just don't know it.
So Ray works behind the scenes to keep everything going smoothly. And we thank you, Ray. So if you have a question, just put it in the chat. We'd be happy to answer it. We got plenty of time tonight. We're usually here for an hour. Don't save your questions for the last 15 minutes because we may not be able to answer your questions.
So we have a few things coming up tonight. So get your questions in early, but later on tonight, I'm going to show you how to use Cascade's cane bender. I also brought my lamp holder for it to share with you tonight. So we have a lot of good things, and we're going to talk about glue chip.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about glue chip. And Julie had a question about cutting points. Julie, I think he's going to save that a little bit later in the program.
With us, Julie.
But stick with us. He has to move some things around.
But I'll be happy to share it with you. And, the main thing you want to do, Julie, and it's a really good question because so many points break off when you get to that point. But the whole idea of it is to get everything that's inside curves out of the way first before you work your way into that point. So anyway, we're going to talk about it a little more later on in tonight's show, Julie. And thank you very much for asking the question, and we will talk soon.
Pauline has a question. She has a two-part question. She has a piece of glass. It has a label on it called Gecko, part number 585. She wanted to know what that was, and go ahead.
Well, I was going to just say the Gecko sticker on it sounds to me, Barb, like that would be somebody's glass shop, because I've never heard of a distributor named Gecko or ordered from them in the 40 years I've been doing this.
Unless it's an obscure,
Yeah, but the 585 tells me that it's probably a Spectrum.
No. This glass looks like the glass that Pauline sent you. So maybe it was a private manufacturer.
Well, yeah, that's
what
she sent me was drapery glass. Yeah.
Right, and she has some that has a Gecko label on it.
Well, then it's probably, I think it was probably sold by a company named Gecko.
I think so too.
Yeah, so I don't think it was manufactured by them though.
No.
That's quite the setup to just try to manufacture drapery glass for sure.
So if anyone has any information about gecko glass, it's Gecko? Gecko maybe?
Gecko.
Well,
or
yeah, something like that. But anyway, yeah.
And I'll look in the back, Pauline, because I've had some glass given to us from customers, and they pick this stuff up north and in their travels, and I'll see if I have some. And if I do, then we'll talk even further about it.
Okay, the next question. I have a new grinder bit to put on my grinder. Can I use Pepto-Bismol rather than milk of magnesia?
Well, the Pepto-Bismol, if it's got an upset stomach, yeah, Pauline. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the whole thing about the milk of magnesia is the chalkiness that's in it. And when you put that Allen screw in there and that chalkiness sets up, it keeps the glass dust from packing the thread, so you can't get that out. I'm not sure that the pink stuff will work, but you're welcome to try it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know that it'll work, but milk
I don't
of
think
magnesia
it'll hurt
works.
anything.
Yeah, it can't hurt anything.
Okay.
It surely can't hurt anything, right?
Yeah, we have a lot of members here tonight. Jennifer, Shazray, Carl Lakins, Rick Day, Julie got in early, Rick got in early. Judith is here too, and everybody, yeah, we got a big crowd. We're getting new members every day, so if you all would like to be a member, you can go to our page.
Yeah.
ARTyRV page, and there's a little button that says subscribe. Once you subscribe, you can become a member.
And
if you choose. A join button will
Guess
show
who's
up.
in the office tonight? Guess who's in the studio tonight?
I think she's sleeping.
I'm not sure. But
She is. She's sleeping.
You know,
she's not going to wake.
She makes us fix dinner before we come to the studio at night. So we wanted to share that with you. That's after dinner. Miss Mary.
Okay. So,
Pauline said no, it was white glass with cream color through it.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I misunderstood. Okay. So,
Larry Mary, hi, buddy. Nice to see you.
Magali's
Thanks for
here.
coming in. Hey, Magali.
Hello to everyone. Ed Forsman is here, and a lot of new names, a lot of regulars, and we welcome every one of you.
Yeah, thank you for coming in to the live stream tonight. It's Monday Glass Night, and we welcome everyone.
Carla has a question. I have seen videos of folks making and selling stained glass flower stakes for potted plants, but did you say a while back that no glass pieces for outdoors?
No, not us.
You can put them outdoors.
Yeah, you can put them outdoors. You just need to find the plant stake that's heavy enough to, the art glass looks really pretty on a thin copper rod so the wind can blow, especially if it's a butterfly or something, even a flower. But you just want to make sure anything can go outside. You just need to make sure that it's built the correct way so that it stays outside.
That's right.
Instead of back in your shop being repaired.
Yeah,
But it does work, and you can put anything outside. Have fun with it. My gosh.
Yeah, just don't leave it and forget about it because, it might need to come in when it's freezing weather or when the dogs are
and if you make a flower that has a way for water to sit in it and freeze, let's just not make a flower that can hold water and freeze and break. So that would be the ideal thing. Anything you put outside, you don't want it to be able to hold water in it anywhere north of Florida because it freezes everywhere.
Yeah,
so
you'll have one.
And those ice is not good for glass. Now
we don't want any pockets.
Yeah, no pockets. Yeah, no pockets. So like when we do our blown glass sculpture for gardens, we make sure that there is absolutely no way that water can sit in any of our glass pieces and crack them for the customer, because then guess what? We have to remake them. So.
That's right. So I did want to remind everyone that, let's see what the first thing coming up in June 16th, right? No, June 6th, Detroit, special event.
Oh, that's at the gas conference,
Barb?
Barb?
Is the gas conference, June 6th in Detroit.
And if you're interested in glass in general, this is these guys that show up here. A lot of these guys are glass blowers, and they're really talented. but it's just something else for you to be able to learn about glass. You know, it's like any of the conferences coming up within the country are well worth your while to go check out. So, such as the, we've got the June show for Wismac, and that's their sale. And you guys, if y'all can get up to Paden City, shoo, please do. And
Okay.
I'm sure you'll be able to have some good times there.
Yeah. Is there a, Shazray wants to know, is there a video on using restrip on a Suncatcher?
No, not the restrip for a Suncatcher, because typically you would just put your Suncatcher together and then use like a 22 gauge pre-tinned copper wire and put all the way around it to hold it together, and then put your hanger on it. That's you don't need to use restrip on small Suncatchers at all. Yeah, that's there shouldn't be any reason to do that, because again, if you use the wire around the perimeter of your Suncatcher, and make sure where your hanger is that the wire that goes around goes down into the Suncatcher and then hangs on that, and it won't ever come apart. So have fun with it.
Because isn't restrip glue on both sides?
No, restrip is just a copper
And there's no
1/8
gluey
inch strip.
stuff
There's
on
no
it?
glue on it. Nothing.
Well, how would you put it around the outside edge?
You don't. That's what I mean.
Oh,
It's not
okay.
designed for that. It's designed to go in between two pieces of glass on a large copper foil window, or it can also be inserted into the heart of lead cane to make the lead cane more rigid back and forth this way. So,
Thank you, Ed. Rick wants to know, do you have suggestions for doing eyes on birds and animals? I like doing birds, but have a problem with how to do the eyes.
a couple different ways that you can do them are get some of the vitreous paints, and that you don't have to fire really high, and you can paint the eyes on, and then maybe go to 350 degrees for it, and it'll stay on. The other thing is I like to use solder blobs and patina them and just glue them right to the bird itself. The other thing is you can use little, and they make them, little googly eyes. And you know, the bird's not, his eyes are always going to be kind of looking down, but because you're not going to be shaking him around. But there's several different eyes that you can use. Clear silicone or E6000 with a solder blob patinaed works really well. And then you can take your tester's model paints that you paint your airplane models with. Well, not everybody puts airplane models together, but that you paint your models with, and just put the little white dot in the center of the eye, and it'll stay there because it's enamel, so it'll stay there. I hope that helps.
Thank you, Ed. Yes, I'm sure it will. Jennifer Morrison has a question. She asks, can you use regular lamp base for a lampshade? A friend has an industrial style lamp with no shade. I thought it would be cool to have a glass shade to diffuse the light.
I think it would be cool, and yes, you can. And that are what some of the prettiest lamps that you'll ever design are done around the bases that are existing. Instead of designing the lamp and then trying to figure out a base, now you have a base. Figure out the lamp and you'll be on.
As long as that base is heavy enough on the bottom to hold your shade. So just make sure it's heavy enough. If it's not heavy enough, you can always add weight to the bottom of your lamp.
You can turn it over.
Base.
You can fill them with sand. You can pour lead into them and make them heavy. A lot of different ways that you can do that. The other thing is,
you just don't want it to do this.
Yeah, the other thing is make sure that your harp isn't too tall, because if your harp that holds the lamp is too tall, then you change the center of gravity on the base. Ideally, the center of gravity should sit down, the lamp should sit down 2 inches below the top of the base, of the base of it, you know, the very top of the base. Not the harp that holds the light bulb, but the very top of the vase should sit down about 2 inches.
You might have to take your shade and your, well, I guess you could measure it, but you might have to take your shade and your base to figure out what size harp you need. Take it to your local stained glass.
And typically, if you have, like, let's say you have a 10-inch base, the diameter of the base at the bottom is 10 inches, you can get away with as much as a 16 or even 18-inch lamp. So, yeah, keep all those things in mind when you start to design the lamp. Like Barbara's mom my mother-in-law has a wooden base that the bottom is 22 inches in diameter, and then it has it's like a 5-inch hand carved post that comes up. And I built her 25 years ago. Mm-hmm. I built her a rose lamp, my own design, wired it all together, 28 inches in diameter. It was a flat panel lamp, nothing special. 12 panels, I think. Wasn't it 12 panels? Yeah, mm-hmm. With red roses and leaves all the way around it. But that was 25 years ago, y'all, and it still hangs there just like it did. When we delivered,
a lot of reinforcing in that
to make sure that it stayed together.
It would stay together. A lot of wire in between, like from the top all the way to the bottom, and then around.
And you don't want those things to come apart for anybody, let alone your mother-in-law.
That wouldn't be good.
That wouldn't be good.
Oh, Shazray, thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much.
That.
I'm glad that answer helped you, and I'm glad that we could answer it for you.
If you all have any questions, just put them in the chat. We'd be happy to answer. I don't know what's with Mary this afternoon.
What's she doing?
But
there she is.
Still sleeping. She's not going to wake up.
Well, we got her some. We got her on her diet, and she's doing kind of good with it. Not
really.
Not really. She gets hungry every day.
Rochelle, thank you for that. Rochelle says that Pueblo paints mm-hmm. makes a vitreous paint that you can fire in a home oven. That works really well.
So there you go. There's your eyes right there. And the eyes, sometimes the eyes actually make the entire piece. So and that might be what sells the piece, is just the eye. So yeah, that's great with those vitreous paints that you can use. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And thanks for helping us out with that.
I think Magali uses those paints too.
I think she does too.
She likes. I'm pretty sure she said she likes
but
those.
A lot of people use those paints.
So hi everyone that's coming in. Thanks for joining us. If you have a question, just put it in the chat. Put it in the chat with a Q. We'll be happy to answer them. We did want to remind everybody about, and you were talking about that. Do you want to tell everybody about it?
Well, we just want to remind everybody about the glass sale that's going on at Wismac on June 16th and 17th. Bring your own dolly, bring your own crate, bring your own packing materials. Show up. I'm sure the pricing is going to be right. They want to build this new warehouse, and y'all, they need our help. So let's help them out if we can.
Hebio paints. Thank you, Mimi.
Hebio. Okay.
Thank you, Mimi. Thanks, Ed. Yeah, so that was Wismac sale, June 16th, 17th, 8 to 4, and you can call them.
Yeah, you can give Wismac a call if you have any questions, but you can also, the flyer is online, and you can check it out. But their number, if you need to call them, is 304-337-2253. That's Wismac Glass in Paden City, West Virginia.
Okay.
All right, and then what do we have coming up in June again, right? We have another show coming up in June. We're trying to remind you guys of these shows and these conferences and everything because there's so much information available at them, but the classes they offer that are just 1 day or 2 days during the conference are just really, really informative. And so if you have an opportunity to just check out these places online, register for one of their classes. I mean, you can go to Richmond for 1 or 2 days. Some of you live in Northern Virginia, and so you're like right there, So anyway, give us a shot, Barb.
AGG show,
the American Glass Guild,
Richmond, Virginia, June 5th through the 11th.
Okay, all right. A lot going on in June. You could go to the show in Richmond, then cut across the mountains and head over into West Virginia.
You can go to AmericanGlassGuild.org and find out everything you need about it and how to be a member. Memberships are inexpensive, and it's great networking, and you will not regret it.
We met some of the most interesting people last year in Corning through the AGG show, and we took a great glass painting class for it was a one day. It was 10 hours, but it was
I haven't seen the classes yet.
No, but I think they're listed on their website.
They're all good.
Yeah, they're all good. They're not they're not going to shortchange you, but it's all learning about. There's etching classes, there's painting classes, all the classes that you could think of are probably going to be right here at the AGG show in June. So.
Okay. Michelle has a question. I did a small sign that says dog days, but it's not very stable. How do I stabilize it? Because I'm afraid to hang it.
What I would do is I would frame it in wood, and then once you put it in the wood, hon, you're not going to have any other problems with it. Then you put your screw eyes at the top and then hang it that way. That is the safest way to secure your work and keep it from being so fragile. Put it in a wooden frame, and eventually zinc will tear. It's a thin metal. I don't recommend hanging anything from zinc, and there's a lot of people that do it, and everybody has their own style. That zinc is just not mine.
Well, wood frame would be good, and if it's already not stable, the zinc will not help.
It won't help it either, yeah.
So a wood frame...
Is it just like a long, skinny piece that says dog days and it's wanting to move back and forth? Mm-hmm. And if that's the case, yeah, a wooden frame would be great for that, and it'll look better. What is the size on that? Yeah, what is the size on that window that you built? Because that'll kind of help us out a little bit.
Yeah. So while we're... solder, I use solder. Okay, copper foil. She used copper foil. And how big is the window? Okay, so anyway, I'll wait for that answer.
No, I don't. They said they don't like wood. Well,
I don't like wood. Okay. All right. So maybe, to solve that window from being unstable, you may need to put wire around it, and maybe you should have put wire inside of it, because it should not be unstable after it's completely soldered. It should be stable. But I don't know how big it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to make it rigid, that part of it should have been done in the beginning in the design, actually. Rather than just, dog days, and now it's going to fall apart. I hate that. I hate to hear that.
Okay.
Because you put a lot of work into it, and now, because it's not rigid, it's probably, not going to last. And I'm sorry that you don't like wood, but there are other framing materials. Just maybe in your area, try and find a different framing material.
Okay, so Ed Forsman wants to know, thank you, Ed, is there anything special to clean Old English hand-painted fired panels?
Oh, gosh. Ed, don't use anything but distilled water, because you don't know what pigments are in those paints.
Don't scrub them.
Don't scrub them. There's a whole section in the book, Ed, in the Stained Glass Association of America. I'm not sure that it's published online, the chapter, but there's a whole section on restoration on that and fooling with paints. You're liable to open a can of worms, Ed, but if you got to do anything to them, use distilled water, and definitely don't let any glazing get near them, because you don't know what's going to happen.
So you'll have to hand glaze it.
Yeah, you'll have to hand putty around the painted areas, but I would tape them off first with painter's tape and then get it off. As soon as you putty it, clean it and get it off real quick.
Yeah, just protect your painted pieces.
Distilled water, if you have to do anything with the paintings, just be really careful, Ed. Really careful, buddy.
Okay. Magali wants to know, do we have a recommendation on a book on beginning fused glass? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we have one on the Amazon page or not.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we have one that we could recommend, but
not off the top of my head, but I'll look at it. I'll look at it, Magali.
And we'll see if we can. We'll see if we can check it out.
Yeah, the ones that we use. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, there is a book about fusing by a gentleman named Gil Gil Reynolds.
No, that's old.
That's what I mean. It's old. It's a good book, but it's old. And then, of course, Bullseye has a lot.
I thought maybe I had a book back there.
A lot of okay. Bullseye has a lot of information on fusing, if you're using their glass. But just because you're not using their glass, a lot of fusing is trial and error. It's kind of like smoke and mirrors. You're gonna have a humid day one day and nothing's gonna work, and the next day the humidity is gonna be gone and it's gonna be nice like it was today, and everything's gonna work. So just a lot of it's trial and error, but my golly, there's a lot of information out there, hun, and a ton of information on fusing. There's a lot of people doing it now because they found that it's not as much work as doing stained glass. I think the benefit, the happiness that both of them bring to people are the same. It's just to me, working with lead and designing windows and putting windows somewhere, putting these pieces where even if they break or crack, they're still going to be there for far longer than I'm going to be alive. So, I enjoy fused glass, but I've also seen a fused glass that gets broken, and now, but I love fused glass, Barbara.
Yes, so fused glass is going to just expand your vocabulary of glass tremendously. Because, so, I'll try to find you all. I've got some books. I'll check and see if they're still on the market, and I will put them on our Amazon.
Because we've got the good books, y'all.
But I can't remember the names of them right off the top of my head.
We've got the good books, and if they're still in publication, we'll find them
tomorrow.
So, but yeah, so fusing is just really what fusing does is it opens another door for your work. You can add to it. So like we're working on the Merle's Inlet project. We've made 16 compasses, 4 in each of the 12-foot windows that we're doing in the corners, and that is the rose compass that we made, and we fused it. So we're going to be, and then and we haven't sandblasted them yet. We had to make 16 of them, so we got those knocked out pretty quick. But now we're going to be sandblasting them before we install them or insert them into the windows.
Magali, I promise I'll look it up and see what we have used before and what's new on the market. There's so many.
So Michael, that window's, you said it's 5 foot by 5 foot or 5 inches by 5 inches?
5 foot by 5.
Yeah, see, there's a lot of things that should have been done to that window, my friend, before you even started with that.
Jennifer had a good idea. Could you twist some cane to frame it with?
Yeah, but it's 5 foot by 5 foot. Number one, you're over your limit already because 3 by 4 or 4 by 4. After that, you need to start stacking them.
Yeah.
So
really 3 by 3 is a recommended
with
limit.
Copper foil,
you can go a little bit.
9 square feet.
9 square feet.
And so you know what? You can do big windows, but there's a lot that has to go into the thought of it before you even start the fabrication. And I'm sad to say I don't have an answer to how you can make that window more rigid, and unless you're going to install reinforcing bars on the outside, just like a lead window, because that's the only way you're going to stiffen it up. Okay. Especially if you don't like wood. That's a 5 foot by 5 foot window. You're already 12 square feet over the limit for copper foil before you need to start splitting those windows up. So, I don't know what to tell you except, next time, because the reinforcing can go in between the copper foil, but if you've already done it, that would be, oh God, that would be a nightmare to try and do that. So I'm sorry that that's the way it is, but that window should have been designed before it was put together to be rigid. So.
Good luck with that, and I would highly suggest the wooden frame. I know you don't like a wood frame, but it could save your window. Yeah,
it could save your window. You just did all this work. A 5 foot by 5 foot window. It's a 25 square foot window. Put a piece of wood around it, and so that it doesn't come apart. And then next time, think about it as when you're doing the fabrication part of it. 5 foot by 5 foot that window should be in 2 pieces.
Yeah, we would suggest. That's our suggestion. It should be in 2 pieces. If you have to redo it,
it should be in 2 pieces.
2 pieces. or it could be in 3. It just depends on your design.
Actually, yeah, it depends on how you got your design in there, Michael. I am really sorry that that's happening to you, because it's very disappointing. And as far as having tools to work with cane, it's a pair of really good lead nippers that we sell on our website, the Lepinet lead nippers.
Mm-hmm.
And your grousing pliers you can use as a lead stretcher, just stretch the lead. But yeah, so anyway, my friend.
No experience or tools for cane.
Yeah,
so wood may work the best.
Wood may work for that. I would, if you have like access to a table saw and things like that, make the frame yourself. You don't have to order it, but they do make framing that has a 3/16 groove down it, and it's designed for copper foil or 1/8 inch, using copper foil around the edges. So I don't know what to tell you. I'm really sorry that it happened, but watch some of our videos, Michael, and we will, if you'll watch our lead videos and watch our copper foil videos, we tell you the sizes that are recommended not to do, and when you need to start piecing windows together. And I mean, 5x5, I don't even know how you flipped it over by yourself.
I know.
I was just thinking the same thing. So the camera froze up, but we're going to keep talking. And it doesn't matter, because we're going to keep talking. And again, Michael, I'm really sorry that it happened to you, my friend.
The camera froze up. So hang on.
There we go. We're looking. That's good.
Okay.
We're good. No delay.
We don't want that.
All right, Ed.
No.
So Ed has an old English painted window.
Okay, so I'm on the close up now. So on the main cam, that's not working. Okay.
There you go. That's good.
Okay. Yeah, that's on.
good. Okay, we're ready.
So can I do that? No, that there.
There.
Okay.
Don't worry about the bottom left corner, guys.
Yeah, forget about him over there.
Hey, Karen Mills tuned in tonight. Hey, Karen, how are you?
Okay, what?
Yeah. So Michael, hey, buddy, 5x5 window, and you built that on your first project. God bless you. But I wouldn't do it again. I would stick with us, and as you start working through these projects, let us try to help you, even though we're helping you through the airways, because we can help you. And all those questions that you ask are all questions that should have been asked in the beginning, not at the end.
But you work and you learn.
But you work and you learn, and it's all productive. So don't be disappointed. It's just the fact that this one you may have to put wood around to keep it all together. Now you know. Yeah.
Okay, Ed has a question. Ed Forsman has a question. Someone would like him to look at their English painted panel. They say it's sagging. Would you recommend just replacing the outside lead after cleaning? Comment. I'm afraid to take that on.
Ed, if you can't replace just the outside lead, you take the window completely apart and re-lead the window. And in that case, that represents making a skeleton of the window, a rubbing of the window. It's a complete restoration, Ed. It's be careful. It might be something that you don't want to fool with in this stage of your career. But your limitations. But I will tell you this: if it's one of those old windows like that, they're going to hold your feet to the fire to do anything with it if it messes up.
Well, the main thing is if it's sagging, it's got problems. Beside, it's not the exterior lead. Either the window has deteriorated underneath, the sill has deteriorated and it's dropped,
Or the rebars are disconnected.
Yeah. So you really need to look at it. Look at it and let us know next week what the deal is.
And if it's got rebars in it, Ed, every 12 inches all the way up to the top, and it's just the bottom is sagging, you know what? Don't even worry about it. If that window's been in there that long and that's all that's happened to it, don't worry about it. Windows will sag about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch over 100 years if they're not if they're not fooled with. And if it doesn't have any protective glazing on it, then it's exposed to the weather. If it has protective glazing on it, now it's exposed to the heat. So that will cause that window to bow just a little bit too. Get us some pictures, Ed, and we'll look at it and see if we can help you. And but know your limitations, my friend.
So, there's a lot of people. Karen, hey, I know you haven't been here for weeks. I just want to give you a shout out and say it's good to see you. Let's see. Carla wants to know how our interest in glass work started.
A summer job with a commercial glass company 43 years ago. That was my interest in glass. It was just a summer job. And then it turned into whether you can get laid off because work's slow this winter, or you can work with my wife. That was my boss's thing. So I said, well, let's do that because I'm interested. And she built stained glass windows. But then, of course, she found out that I could draw. And anyway, so rather than getting laid off, I started building stained glass windows for the company that I worked for. So.
Yeah.
And the rest is, we started our first stained glass company on our back porch of our river house. That was the very first window that was built on the back porch in our first stained glass company. And then it hung on our porch and it sold us many a window. And we would have them come in to our house to the back door, knock on the door, want to know if we wanted to sell that window, and they would come down the river on their boat and walk up our dock and knock on the door. But we would sell them one. We would make one for them. Not that one. That one is the original.
That one has been through Hurricane Floyd.
That one has been through Hurricane Hugo, right? No, Floyd.
Was it Hugo? Did it make it through Hugo? I can't remember. Hurricane Floyd, we had in 1990.
Yeah, it was in the house on the river during Hurricane Hugo.
When did we build our big building? 1990?
99.
Okay, 1999. We waited 10 years. We saved money. We waited 10 years to build the building. We built first we built a 1,500 square foot little studio, bought a piece of property, put that little studio there. Then we decided to build a big studio, 6,000 square feet, saved up our money, got it built, moved in. This window was sitting on the floor in the foyer, and Hurricane Floyd came through.
22 inches of water came in
our building and
flooded
the whole thing, flooded everything.
We hadn't even made the first payment yet.
So that was really crappy.
That was really crappy.
This sailboat right here means a lot to us.
It does,
it survived.
And we started that project, and my boss told me, and we do a lot of different things besides just stained glass windows. And Ed, this is on our website. You can purchase it. It's available. You can go to
Is it on our website?
No, you can go to our store and it's there.
Is it? Can you purchase it?
I think so. Yeah.
If it's still available. Sometimes it's not available, but this is it. Can you see that?
It's the Stained Glass Association of America. This is the Glass Bible, Ed. And the Stained Glass Association of America is based in Buffalo, New York, y'all.
Okay, so we're going to answer some more questions because we're running out of time, and we have two things. We got to show the cane bender, and then we got to show the point.
So I just wanted to show them the fused.
You have to play with the light a little bit. Yeah, there you go. That's perfect.
These are the fused compasses for the Merle's Inlet project. There's 16 of these. There's one in each corner of 4 windows. So let me put that out of the way so it don't get broke.
Okay, another question. How do you know what size H came to use? I have only worked with foil, but I want to start making heavier pieces.
Well, because you're using lead, you're going to make heavier pieces anyway. But if you'll take and use a nice size for lead is 3/8 flat H around the perimeter on the outside so that you can frame it. Don't ever hang it from the lead, y'all. And then on the inside, if you have really small pieces, you can mix copper foil and lead together. But a good size is like 3/16 round H. 3/16 round H. And if you have access to it, Cascade makes probably the best one. And if you're going to be using textured glass, well, you know what? Whether you're using textured glass or not, just buy the number 2 lead or what's called the high heart. Then you won't have any problems putting textured glass into the heart on the lead while you're building.
Is everybody can hear us? Is the sound still good?
Yeah. Ray, can you hear us okay, buddy? Sounds okay here. Thank you, Ray.
Okay. All right. Okay. I get that. Can you put that piece of glass between 2 sheets of clear glass? I'm not sure about that. Then you're getting into tempered. You're going to have to get tempered glass to put that piece of stained glass between tempered glass. So make sure you get tempered glass because it is at the limit, correct?
Right.
Because you're at the limit.
Yeah,
of plate.
eighth inch tempered glass on each side of that of a window will protect it. If you're doing a large stained glass window, the best thing to use is polycarbonate and not go any higher than 36 to 40 inches before you put an H channel to put it together, and then you put another piece on top of it. Everybody has driven around, even in your town, and seen the protective glazing on stained glass windows, y'all. If you take a good look at it, there's a piece of glass on the bottom, then there's a dark piece of metal that runs horizontally. That's a H bar. That slides over top of the bottom piece of glass, and then the piece of glass that goes on top of that slides inside of it. Now, we're doing this Merle's Inlet project. All of these windows are getting H barred together, and they're getting, they're getting everything that they need done to them, because there's going to be 70,000 people a month looking at these things.
Okay. Let's go back to the 5 by 5 inch window.
5 foot by 5 foot window?
It's not 5 foot by 5 foot. It's 5 foot inch by 5 inch. You have no worries whatsoever. Just do whatever you want. It doesn't.
That's Christine. We were talking to Michael. He's got a 5 foot by 5 foot window, but a 5 inch by 5 foot.
Where's Christine?
Right here. 5 inch by 5 inch is the size of her Suncatcher.
Yes, I know.
The other gentleman up here. I meant 5 inch by 5 inch. I meant. Oh, Michael, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. Good Lord.
You're fine.
Get my blood pressure up for doing something crazy. Everybody on this chat knows you don't build a window 5 foot by 5 foot.
Okay, you have no worry. Pre-tinned wire, you'll be fine. Have fun.
Thanks for tuning in.
Okay.
There's Miss Mary, everybody.
We solved that problem and we didn't even have to do anything.
I know. We didn't even have to send us a picture.
Okay. Let's see. I know we got to have another question here. If I miss anyone, I see Mimi's question. When you all speak of rebar, I picture the rebar you place in concrete, or is it cement? Anyway, do you have a sample to show on the screen by any chance?
I don't have one right here because it's in my room where I work. It's in the studio. Mimi, the rebar is steel flat bar, 1/8 of an inch thick, 3/8 of an inch wide, and usually they come in 6 foot lengths, and they are they're pre-tinned. They're tinned with nickel. So the nickel allows your solder to stick to it. You just have to get them really, really hot. And Mimi, if you would, check out the video. That'll show you how we install the rebar, and it'll show you what the rebar looks like. And I'll make myself a note, and I'll bring a piece to the table next week, okay?
What is that? You're going to bring some rebar?
Rebar,
yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have another question, and I hope I'm getting y'all's questions in order. If not, just give me a shout out. Elisa, hello. Will you consider selling a pattern to make a light table? I will sure purchase it. Thanks for all your great videos and advice. Yeah, that's on our list.
It's on our list.
Yeah, we have a long list of things we're working on. That's one of them.
Right.
And we have started that video. So
and we're also building 500 square feet of stained glass windows.
Okay.
But it's all good because we're going to try and get everything done. We will.
We'll
consider
get you
that. A light box, yeah.
Yes.
We
have the photos and everything. We just don't have.
Yeah, we just have to write down the dimensions for you, and you can build the whole light box out of a 1x4 out of 1x4 wood and a piece of 24 by 36 clear tempered or satin or some kind of tempered safety glass. Okay. Depending on your budget.
Yes, Mimi, we realized that after she said it. Thank you. Okay, Les Cole. I did a 12-inch round and put it in a metal cradle.
Good deal.
Cool.
That's beautiful. A 12-inch round with a half circle cradle that you set it in. That's awesome, my friend. And that's a great way to display your work, too. And you know what? Because it'll sit in a niche in someone's home, you'll probably sell that thing pretty quick, too. So.
Bobby Schneider. My husband took a class in 1985. All of our stuff fit in one milk crate. Then I had kids and never played with the glass. 30 years later, I decided to try. Then found a lady selling her studio. Bought it. Good.
Oh, Ray, thanks for putting that video up on how to apply the rebar. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Karen recycled a flat screen TV to make her box.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
Yeah, and that's a great idea. That I don't know who thought of that, Karen, you or Denver, or the two of your heads together, but that is a great idea for a light box, let me tell you.
Okay, so I think we can go ahead and show everyone the, maybe we can't. Maybe we can. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch cameras real quick, and we're going to show you what we're going to do, because we're going to talk about.
Karen said Denver is the mastermind.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about Cascades cane bender. Now, y'all, these are available still. However, they really are a little bit pricey. They're about $300. And so when you have a piece of equipment, now we've had this piece of equipment 26 years. Okay? And it's a cast aluminum. It has 3 different wheels on it, and these wheels, let me loosen this up. Okay, so the center wheel here is your pivot wheel, and these are your stationary wheels, okay? So what you're going to find, and last week somebody asked, they said, well, I'm having trouble with it slipping. And what I figured out is yes, you will have trouble with it slipping, because the little grooves that are on the inside of the wheels, most of your cane doesn't go in there, doesn't fit to where that will, aug it and grab a hold of it and turn it. But this will keep. This is 1/4 inch flat H zinc. Okay, and now this will only fit in one place on the wheels. Okay, and it is the bottom groove. Okay, the bottom groove. So we need a bend in this. We just want this nice little curve. So we're going to snug this up a little bit. Okay. Now each time we make a pass, we're going to snug it a little bit more. Okay. See that coming together? Look at that, y'all. Okay, so now as I tighten this, it's going to require me to use my hands, just like this. Okay? And we're going to bend this right on around, and as that comes in, I'm going to snug it a 1/2 turn. There we go. See that? So what I'm showing you here is we're going to come back around 1/2 turn, and we're going to go back in, and we're going to turn this just like that. Okay. So there's there's a half circle. That's a half a 12-inch. That's a 6-inch 12-inch radius, and this is half of it. So, if I had a longer piece, we could gradually take it around. But the whole thing about this cane bender is it's designed for zinc and jacketed lead. Jacketed lead is brass jacketed lead. I'm going to show you this, okay? And I've got a couple pieces of this. This is very pliable, but because of the height, because of the height from the top to the bottom, it will only fit in the top groove, okay? So this is lead with brass around it, y'all. And we're going to gradually do the same thing, okay? We're going to... So this is brass jacketed lead, okay? And it did a really good job on this too. So now our viewer last week, they were bending U cane, or outside U for the cane. So here's the thing I found out. Again, because it's so thick, we can only use the top groove, and we're going to snug this in. And you're going to have to be really careful with this. Because it's not going to bend easy. But you need to roll back and forth, and you can see it taking shape. And now we're gonna have to turn it by hand, half a turn, and we're gonna help it just a little bit with this wheel right here, my right side wheel. Okay, don't let it get out of your wheels. There it goes, it popped out. Now we're gonna tighten this back up, and we're coming back around the corner.
So you would cut your piece of lead or brass cane a lot longer than your actual.
Oh yeah, because you're going to need a lot more.
Because you don't want to mess up your ends.
So the reason I said don't come off of your wheel, this is what happens.
Can they see it? Okay.
You see that?
So make sure
I came off of the wheel on this side. I mean, I can crimp this back together, okay? But I also want you to see that my glass still fits in here with no problem. And what you're going to have to do is just work with it, and you may have to splice it, but you're going to have to work with it. This piece of equipment is especially made for zinc cane and brass jacketed cane. Lead you can bend with your hands, you can bend with the glass, you can bend with this Sharpie marker. But y'all, you're going to have to get you a cane bender just so that these pieces don't twist up. Now if I take, here we go, I got another piece of this. I'll take a piece of this and I'm going to try and bend it, okay? And you know what? It's bending, but let me show you what it's doing, okay? See that? That's the outside. That's the inside. I can't even put my fingernail in there, okay? So this is what happens when you don't use the right equipment to do what you're supposed to be doing. So I can put this back in here, tighten it up, and because it's so bent, it won't even go in the grooves that it's supposed to, y'all. So I'm not even going to fool with that because I'm wasting your time and mine. But so when you try to bend zinc by yourself, this is what's going to happen. And you can get a little tiny bend in it, but once you go so far, it starts ducking in and opening up on the back side. So anyway, I wanted to share this with you because there's a lot of talk about it, and they're really expensive, and you have to get them directly from Cascade. I haven't seen them on the market. All my distributors don't carry them anymore because, again, they're 20, this one's 20, what did I say, 26 years old, I think. But
I don't know.
This
There probably are some other types.
This is brass jacketing. Yeah, there's other types. And there's a cane bender that's real little, and it has 3 little wheels on it, and you just hold it in your hand. It's very similar to.
Go ahead. I was just cleaning your table because you have a glass demo.
Yeah, so it's very similar to. Let's see. It's very similar to like a plumber would hold in his hand for doing, or an electrician for using small conduit. Okay, so we're gonna. Barbara's gonna tell us a story about something, anything. I don't care. I'm gonna disconnect my thing here, and I'm not gonna raise a drill because that just makes too much noise, and it's an impact drill, so Mary will get scared and she'll be leaving the room. So how's Miss Mary doing, Barbara?
She's doing okay.
Okay, so we're gonna do a little glass demo for Julie. But you know what? While I'm doing this, can I talk about glue chip, Barb?
Yeah, and we have that demo, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so while I'm unscrewing my table here, I'm going to talk about glue chip because somebody had a question and they got some glue chip, but they didn't get it from us, y'all.
I have 2 other questions too.
That's right. Okay. They got some glue chip, but they didn't get it from us, but now they need to know how to cook it. So Ed's going to go ahead and let them have it. I'm going to give them the cooking recipe. Your glue chip, ma'am, as you cook it, you use... This is weight to weight, not ratio to ratio. Whatever, if you use 8 ounces of glue chip, weighable 8 ounces, you need to use 16 ounces of water, weighable, not cups. It's all measured by weight, okay? And then you need to cook the glue for approximately 1 hour and don't let it exceed 150 degrees.
Okay.
During that 1 hour cooking process, the air bubbles will all dissipate. And then once the glue cools just a little bit more, you can put a very thin coat, less than a 32nd of an inch, on your sandblasted glass and let it dry and start chipping.
Okay.
Next time you need some glue chip though, hon, give us a call because ours comes with the directions on how to use it and how to use it correctly. So.
Okay. Jennifer wanted to know, she bought some glass, 12 inches across, and it's about 1 inch high. Any idea? It has Kokomo sticker on it. What is it?
Oh, that's the slab glass they use for what they call faceted glass, Jennifer. If it's 1 inch thick, it's faceted glass.
Is that Kokomo?
Yeah, Kokomo makes it. Wismac makes it. There's 2 companies that make it.
Yeah.
And it's probably a cathedral, right, Jen?
So you actually...
Well, that's faceted glass. They actually take a hammer and they chip the edges of it.
Do they score it and then chip it?
Yeah, no, they don't score it and chip it. They just chip the edge with a point on the hammer. Jen, you can cut that glass. It's no different. You score it, turn it over, and have your dad get a blunt chisel or a cold chisel, not a sharp one for wood, but a cold chisel, and then you just put the chisel tip right on the opposite side of the score and just take your hammer and dink it real easy and it'll come right off of there, huh? That glass is a lot of fun to work with, but it's not fun for a novice if you're trying to cut patterns.
And it's kind of cemented, grouted together.
Jen, it's the same glass that we talked about that was in the church that your dad grew up in. So, the faceted glass.
Ed Forsman wanted to know why you have to turn the wheels by hand.
Well, because there's not enough oomph in here in order to spin this through. There are these little tracks here, and it might be because this is 25 years old, Ed. But I can tell you this: if you don't turn them by hand and help the wheel turn, you're not going to get the product that you need at the end. So you have to use your hands somewhat to help this along. And you got to tighten it and work it, and you really need to be ambidextrous.
Okay, Mr.
All right, we're out of here with
Let's
Cascade.
do a demo real quick for Julie.
Yeah.
Do you have a Sharpie?
I do. It's the color of the day, Julie. Orange. We'll be changing the paper next week.
Okay, well, how are we going to show this now? Do you want me to put this camera over there? I can do that.
Here. Why don't you just stay right where you are? We're having to shuffle a camera.
Well, that's not going to move. So,
isn't it? There, I'm right on it.
You want it?
I'm right on it where I need to be.
Okay, there you go. Mr. Movie Man, he figured it out. Jennifer said, yes, it was in a box of faceted glass like the ones from my church. So there. Okay, here we go with the...
Good, Jen. I'm glad we talked about that while you were here. Okay, so we're going to... You know, it's really...
Okay. Mary's very interested in what you're doing.
Okay, so Jan, this is the point that we really need to save right here. Julie, I'm sorry. But for you too, Jan. For you too, Jan. So this is the point that we want to save. First of all, let's get rid of everything we don't need. I'm just going to break this with my hands. Now I'm going to grab my trusty... Y'all, we got the new Leponet grousing pliers in. They got a pretty blue handle on them. These are the advanced ones. They have a little bit narrower jaw, but one thing, they react really nice to your hand, and I really like them. So, Julie, because this is what's going to happen. Because we need this point, if we take this off first, then that's not going to give us anything to hang on to. If we take this one off, we have all of this glass right here that's going to help us hang on. So let's see if we can make this come out for you. I'm getting ready to drop into a bucket. Here we go. Oh, there it is. Drive yourself right out. You know. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we're going to take this off. We're going to come down here. We just finished on this end scoring. We're going to try and chase our run to the bottom. And we're chasing. Hi.
Mary wants to get closer.
Hey, Miss Mary. She loves me.
Hey there, baby girls.
She loves me. She loves her mommy.
Daddy.
Okay, so now we're going to break from here, and we're going to go back the other direction. Now, remember, we did have a little pothole right here, so it may drift off. But let's try. There it is. Okay. All right, so Julie, we got this going on right here for us. Let's just go crazy, because we want to keep this point, and I want to break it from that end. So here we go. We're going to start right here. I know I come off the glass pretty hard, don't I? Sorry. Here we go. So when I pull down on this, Julie, all of my weight, okay, everything, the weakest point on this glass now is going to be here, not here. So here we go. Let's see if it'll come out. Make me true, Ed. Boom, there we go. See that?
Congratulations.
Okay,
That's
so
awesome.
Julie, I hope that helps you, hon, because there's nothing more frustrating than needing a point and not getting it. So there you go.
Thank you.
I hope that helped everybody.
I hope so.
Well, you know, it is. It's important, and we're working on a lot of points right now, so.
I think it's froze up for Mary, but
We're good.
she'll be back next week.
She will. And I want to thank everybody, Barb, for tuning in tonight. I want to thank our producer, James, for tuning in tonight and hanging out with us and trying to help keep the live stream going. I want to thank Miss Mary for eating dinner before we left the house, so she's not grumpy tonight. And
Is that straight?
that's good, right? No, it's not. I'm falling over.
How's that?
Hold on. Don't everybody get dizzy. That's pretty good right there, Barb.
Okay. All right.
So Barb's
I just
coming
wanna
back.
Say hi or bye.
We just want to say goodnight to everybody, and we want to thank y'all for tuning in. Please don't forget to subscribe. Everybody, let's give Ray a big thumbs up for tonight. He's been working really hard. Y'all, thank you so much.
Jennifer.
Oh,
Thank you,
Jennifer.
We appreciate you. And everybody
Hold
that's
on.
here tonight, thank you for all the questions and all the support, and we really appreciate you. And we'll see you next week.
And don't forget, I'm Ed.
And I'm Barb.
And we're the Streeters.
Thank you, guys. Oh, but you know what? You know what I need to do? Let's see. Thank you. Here we go.